Hello, so welcome to the Rust Square. So I was going to say I'm going to launch straight into the square, but I'm not going to do that. I'll tell you a little bit about the square. If you want to read more about the square, I have written a blog post about it a while ago. So I'm going to be using a 4mm crochet hook, and I'm just using a small this is my usual go-to, the little metal hooks. I love them, just plain metal hooks. I've tried all sorts of hooks and I always end up going back to these simple hooks. So I'm going to be using a combination of Stylecraft Special DK and a local yarn here in South Africa called L yarns. The colours are very similar to the Stylecraft Special DK, and it's also the same sort of weight yarn. It is a DK, and you know, because we are in Cape Town, this is almost the southernmost tip of Africa, I have difficulty trying to find the yarns that I need, you know, especially if I'm stuck on Stylecraft and then my local yarn shop doesn't carry a colour that I'm using, so I've had to just be flexible. So I use the Stylecraft Special DK, which is 100% acrylic, and the L Yarn Family Knit DK, which is also 100% acrylic, and I use them mostly because they have a great selection of colours. Okay, so we're going to start with a magic loop. Alright, so I'm just going to loop that over twice, and we're going to be working 8 half double crochets into the magic loop. Alright, so we're going to start with the chain 2, and then we're going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm not going to count that beginning chain 2. It's a half double crochet, and then we're just going to slip stitch into the top like so. I can't see, this light is a bit strange, sort of reflecting back on the colours. Okay, and then you're just going to snip your yarn off and work in your ends like that. Okay, so I'm just going to use a slip stitch because I'm going to be working between the stitches. So I'm going to go off and just sew those ends in, and you just check that you've got 8 half double crochets into your magic loop, and I shall see you at the next round. But before I do, let me just mention that the colour I'm using is the Stylecraft Special DK in Camel, right? Okay, and there's something else. Oh, right, and that was round 1. See you at round 2. Okay, so we are on to round number 2, and round number 2 I'm going to be using the cream, also Stylecraft Special DK, and we're going to be working 8 puffs. Okay, so we're going to be working kind of into the top of, no, not into the top, in between, not into the top, in between. Okay, so we're going to be working in between those half double crochets, and I'm going to start with a single crochet, and then 1, 2, 3. So the puff is a yarn over times 3, chain 1, right, like that. Okay, so we are working puffs and chain 1s. Alright, so we're doing a chain 1 to close, and we're working between those half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1 to close, chain 1. 1, 2, 3, chain 1 to close, chain 1. Okay, and you're just going to go around like that until you have 8 puffs and 8 chain 1s, and I shall see you at the end of round number 2. Okay, so I'm on the last puff and the last chain 1 of round number 2, and to close you just pop a slip stitch into the top of your first puff like that, and you just pull that tight and then snip off and work in your tails. So I would highly recommend that. This is quite a complicated little piece, not complicated, but you know, there's all sorts of bits and pieces, and when you have all these extra tails floating around, it's going to be quite annoying. So I suggest you work them in, and I'm going to do that, and I shall see you at the beginning of round number 3. Okay, so we are on round number 3, and I am heading on over to this, the L yarn family knit, and the color that I'm using is coral, and it's very similar to the Stylecraft. So as I say, I'm kind of using both of these colors. Unfortunately, I don't really have a choice, seeing as I don't, you know, we cannot get a regular supply of the colors where I am. So I've done a slip stitch on my hook, and we're going to be working into those chain 1 spaces. We're going to start off with a chain 3, which is equivalent to 1 double crochet, or in UK terms it's 1 treble. Chain 1 and work a double crochet. Now you don't want to try and hold your tail away like that, so you've got 4 chains there, but your 1 chain is kind of the chain between, and you're going to create your first V-stitch. Alright, then you're just going to yarn over and work. Okay, so these are, in UK terms, these are trebles, and in US terms we're talking about double crochet. So I use US terms always, but I've had quite a few people who contacted me and said, please can you also include the British terms, the UK terms, and in Australia as well. Australia, they also use the British terms. Okay, so you're just doing that. So you're working a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into all your chain 1 spaces from the previous round, and in UK terms that's trebles. You're working trebles, treble V-stitch. Okay, in US terms a double crochet V-stitch, and then you're going to actually slip stitch around your beginning. So okay, if you like you can slip stitch right into the top of your beginning chain, but because we're going to be working over all of that, you can also do that same thing. Alright, and so I'm just going to go say work in my ends, but that's what it's going to look like. So that's going to be the end of your round 3, and you should have 8 V-stitches. Okay, in US terms it's double crochet V-stitches with the chain 1 in between, and in UK terms it's treble V-stitches with the single crochet between. And you're not doing a single crochet, I mean not a single crochet, a chain. Okay, so you're just going along like that, very easy, and I shall see you at the beginning of. Okay, so we are going on to round number 4, and the color that I'm using is soft peach, and that's the Stylecraft Special DK. So in the pattern I actually I list the color that I'm using for this particular colorway for this tutorial, and then behind the color I will say SC or EY. So SC is Stylecraft and EY is L yarn. So you know, so after the coral, I'll say EY, which is L yarn, okay, which I don't think you can get overseas, I'm sorry to say. Or if you can, most people that I know have not been able to find it. So, but as I say, Stylecraft has very, very similar colours. Their colours, the L yarn and the Stylecraft colours are very similar. Okay, so we are going to start with a chain 3. Chain 3 is equal to US, 1 double crochet, and in UK terms it's a treble. We're going to be working 5 double crochets. So the actual pattern is 5 double crochets, but we're going to start with our three. Yes, 1, 2, 3. I pulled it a bit tight. Okay, so remember, this is double crochet in US terms, treble in UK terms. So we're going to be working 5 double crochets or 5 trebles. Okay, so it's 3, 4, 5. So I'm not really sure what's easier, whether I should just do 2 completely separate patterns, but I don't think it's necessary. Then you're going to single crochet. So the single crochet is obviously US terms, and in UK terms it's a double crochet. And then you work, right, but if you're watching the tutorial, it doesn't really matter because you can just follow the tutorial and call the stitch whatever you like. So, okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're doing 5 of these stitches, 1 of those stitches, 5 of these stitches. Alright, obviously it's written in the pattern. So, you know, it's mostly for people who are going to be following the written pattern, because, you know, if they're not watching the tutorial for some reason. But I make these tutorials to make it easier for everyone. And it's much more fun following a tutorial, and, you know, feels almost like you're chatting with fellow yarny friends. Right, so you just carry on like that. So you're going to do that 8 times. So you're going to do your 5 double crochets, chain 1, 5 double crochets, chain. I mean, you see, now I'm calling a single crochet chain 1. So 5 double crochets, single crochet, 5 double crochets, single crochet, you know, and so on. But in UK terms, it's 5 trebles, 1 double crochet, 5 trebles, 1 double crochet, 5 trebles, 1 double crochet. US terms, 5 double crochets, 1 single crochet, and so on. Okay. But I'm not going to worry too much about that, right? Because, you know, you're following this and you just do the stitches. So you're going to go all the way around, work in your tails, and I shall see you at the end of round number 4. Okay, and when you get to the end, you're just going to do a slip stitch into the top of your beginning chains, like so. Okay, and you're going to pull tight. Oopsie, things flying around here. The thing is, I don't know if you've noticed this, but my scissors is magnetic. Is this normal? So that's why my needle often goes flying around, because it sticks to the... Is this normal? Okay, you can stop now. But anyway, yes, so, you know, I sort of... Yeah, and... Well, yes. You've got needles flying around. Okay, so... Alright, so this is the end of round number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go sew in my ends, and I shall see you at round number 5. Okay, so I've now separated my needle from my scissors. The needle is now stuck into the pin cushion, so it can't go flying around. Okay, so the color that I'm using here, we are on round number 5, is Stone, and that is a Stylecraft Special DK color. So what we're going to do is we're going to work a single crochet front post, okay, around that single crochet. So there are kind of 2 ways to do this. You can do it like that and then just pull your tail to the back, or you can do it where you do kind of take, I've seen it done where you include the tail in your single crochet front post like that. Okay, so you can kind of work it any way you like. But the way that I do it is I just do usual slip knot like so, and I just take the one strand of yarn like so. Okay, and then I'll pull this to the back like that. Right. Okay, so one single crochet front post. Now what you're going to do is you're going to be working into these 5. So I'm saying a single crochet front post, and of course in UK terms it'll be a double crochet front post. I'm presuming. If I'm wrong, please correct me. So now you're going to work a single crochet. Okay, but obviously this is a double crochet. Alright, so the difference here, so the way to tell whether it's a UK or US is in the UK what people are counting are the 2 loops. Alright, but the way that the US or the Americans do it, which is the way that I prefer, to me it makes more sense, is the action itself. You basically won. Okay, so the British are doing it in a sort of almost OCD kind of way. Pedantic. Maybe not pedantic, excuse me. It's not an insult, a precision is good. Okay, it's really just, preference. So, single crochet front post, US terms. Double crochet front post, UK terms. Now we're going to work a single crochet into the first double crochet, and in UK terms we'll be working a double crochet into a treble, right? Okay, but as I say, it doesn't really matter here, it's only in the written pattern, because you're just going to do the stitches. Then we're going to work 2 single crochets into the next one, so into the next 3 we're going to work 2 single crochets into the top of the next 3 double crochets. Okay, and we're going to work a single crochet into the last one and a single crochet front post. So now I have already explained the UK terms, so I'm just going to carry on in the US terms. Okay, right, then we're going to do single crochet, which is of course the double crochet. I'm going to whisper it, double crochet in UK terms. And then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 1 single crochet front post, double crochet front post. Okay, and then just remember to get into the correct, you need to do 5, you need to make sure that you're working into all 5 of your double crochets, trebles in UK terms. So single crochet, so 2 into the next 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Single crochet front post. Okay, single crochet front post. There you go. Right, so you're just going to do that all the way around, and then I'll show you how to finish off at the end of this round, and this is round number 5. So I shall see you at the end of round number 5 there. Okay, so now we have 64 single crochets, or double crochets in UK terms. We have 64 single crochets in US terms, and we have 8 single crochet front posts in UK terms. That's double crochet front posts. And now to close, I'm going to be very naughty. I'm not going to slip stitch into the top of any stitches. I'm just going to slip stitch around that first front post. Alright, and that's because it just gives it a crisper finish off. Then I'm going to go and work in my tails, and I shall see you at the next round, which is round number 6. Okay, so we are on round number 6, and round number 6 has 3 parts, which I've labeled A, B and C. So now what we're going to do is we're going to backtrack. We're going to go all the way down to the puffs. Alright, and now what we're going to be doing is filling in these little holy bits. Okay, so this is where you sort of, begin to get, if you've never done 3D crochet before. So what we're going to do is we are going to be working kind of in the back of your work, like that. Right? So the color that I'm using is Claret, and it's the Stylecraft Special DK. Right, so what you want to be doing is working, okay, difficult to explain. So you're kind of working between your 2 double crochets, and in UK terms your 2 trebles and the puff. So you're working into that space, right? So you're going to do that. I hope it makes sense. You're going to, because we're doing double crochets there, with in UK terms we're doing trebles, we're going to chain 3. Okay, then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to work on the other side of the puff. Can you see? And it's kind of like filled in that little gap. Then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do exactly the same. So basically working on each side of each puff with a double crochet, like that. Chain 2. Okay. Right. And another one, like that. And chain 2. Right, so it was a bit difficult explaining in the written pattern, but of course with the video it's easy to see what's going on. Right, so going to yarn over, okay, 1, 2, so these are, something went wrong there. So we've got chain 2, yarn over, 1, 2, yarn over, oh, I thought there wasn't a stitch there, but it's just hiding. Chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over. Okay, so you're working on either side of those puffs, like that. And you're working a chain 2, right, 1, 2, 2. Okay, so you can see how it's filled in those spaces sort of above your puffs, okay, framing it. So you're just going to carry on like that, and then I shall see you when you've done the last one. So don't fasten off, just wait for me there. So this is round number 6, colour we're using is Carré, and I shall see you at the end of part A. Okay, so we're still on round number 6, part A. So what we've done is we've done our last 2 chains, right? And now we're going to slip stitch between the first 2 double crochets. So, you know, one is a chain 3 and the next is the double crochet, but the chain 3 is equal to 1 double crochet, or in UK terms 1 treble. So you're going to do a chain 1, okay, and then you're immediately you are going to do a single crochet front post around that single crochet from round number 4. Alright, the single crochet that you made between your 5 double crochets. So in UK terms, we are working a double, am I calling it a front post? It's a back post. We are working a double crochet back post. In US terms, we are working a single crochet back post after that slip stitch, right? Then we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and we're going to skip over those chain 2s, and we're going to slip stitch into that space between the next 2 double crochets, or in UK terms, trebles, and then we're going to work a single crochet back post, or in UK terms, double crochet back post, but in this case we are using single crochet back post, using American terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch into that space between your double crochets, work a single crochet back post, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it doesn't really matter if I don't say the UK terms here, because you can see what I'm doing. So remember, you just go up in the count. Okay, so that wasn't a good one. Make sure that you go around your single crochet from round number 4. There we go. Of course, in UK terms, that's a double crochet. And we're doing a single crochet back post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, slip stitch into the space between the 2 double crochets, and then single crochet back post. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're just going to continue like that. And you know, you're doing that slip stitch so that you can you're pulling up the round, the previous round, you know, pulling up the skirts. Okay, so you just carry on like that, just go around until you have 8 chain 5s, 8 single crochet front posts and back posts, single crochet back posts, or in the UK terms it'll be double crochet back posts, and 8 slip stitches into the space between your double crochets. Okay, and you'll have those 8. Alright, so that's what the back is going to look like. It's going to look like that. Right. And I shall see you. So that is round number 6, part B. And I shall see you at the end of round number 6, part B, and then we'll do round number 6 part C, which is the end of all this business going on here. Okay, so we have done our, I hope I wasn't calling these front posts, because they really are back posts. Okay, so we are on round 6, and we're on part C. So what we did was, sorry I'm backtracking a bit, but I was just, life called. So after you've done your slip stitch into the back of your single crochet back post, or in UK terms double crochet back post, you're going to chain 6. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to slip stitch kind of back, it's a bit of a squeeze, into that same space where you made your slip stitch when you ended the last round. Then you're going to single crochet into your first chain 5 space. Then you're going to work 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. So of course that is in UK terms a double crochet and 3 trebles. Then you're going to work 2 trebles, 1, 2, 3. So the 2 trebles are your US terms. Okay, and I'm going to call them double trebles. Double trebles. And then you're going to work 1, 2, 3. You're basically going to work, so now in US terms, which is what I use, this is a triple treble. So okay, so we're going to do that again. Alright, so we're going to start with, so I'm going to do this in US terms, 1 single crochet. Alright, and then and then we're going to work 3 double crochets. Okay, then we're going to work 2 trebles, 1, 2, and then we're going to work a double treble, which is yarn over times 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to skip over that single crochet back post, or in UK terms double crochet back post, and we're going to kind of work backwards, downwards. So we worked up to a double treble, and now we're going to work down to a single crochet. So into your next chain 5 space you are going to work 1, working your double treble, then you're going to work your 2 trebles, then you're going to work your 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to work a single crochet. Then you are going to slip stitch, into the top of that single crochet back post. It's not so easy to see, but there is kind of a space that you can go into. Okay, you're going to slip stitch into that single crochet back post. You're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to slip stitch. I can't see a thing with this with this dark yarn. It's all a guessing game. Right, and then that is your second, so you can see it's going to look like that. Okay, and then you're going to single crochet into the next chain 5 space. You're going to work 1, 2, 3 double crochets, 2 trebles. I'm using US terms here, but if you are watching UK ladies, Australian ladies, you know, you'll know what stitches there are. So we're working a double treble, and then we're going to work the double treble into the next chain 5 space. We're going to work 2 trebles, then we're going to work 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work 1 single crochet, and then we're going to work a slip stitch into, I'm sure I missed it the last time, honestly, it's a bit, there we go, I think I did something else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and slip stitch back into that same space. If you can see it, if you can see it, hallelujah, because I can't, just guessing. Okay, so, well, anyway, there you go. So you've now created your 4 corners, your little loops like that. Well, you haven't created 4 corners, just created 2, but you're going to do the other 2. Okay, and then I shall see you back just before we finish with part C of round 6. Okay, and then to close off this round number 6, part C, we're just going to slip stitch right into the base there, like that, and you're going to snip off your yarn and pull through. So I'm going to pull this through like that, and then I'm just going to kind of, oh sorry, I'm going completely off camera, so I'm going to pull that through and then pull this yarn to the back like so. Alrighty, so there we go. So okay, so we've got our single crochets, just make sure you've got the doubles, the trebles, the single, double, treble, so just make sure you've got the right amount of stitches all the way around. Okay, and you've got your 4 loops, 4 chain 6 loops, and your work should look like that. Okay, like that. So you see how it's going to look. So we're going to be working, so that's where we are at the moment, right, like that. It's going to be working into those loops, you see, to create our other corners, like so. Okay, so that is the end of round number 6, part C, and I shall see you at the beginning of round number 7. Okay, so we are on round number 7. Round number 7 is a slip stitch round. So we're going to start with the colour that I'm using is pale rose. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to start, if you have a look where your loops are, into that space over there, we're going to start like below that loop, right? We're going to start with a slip stitch like that, right? Then we're going to work a slip stitch into all of the stitches. So we're going to work a slip stitch into our first single crochet. Then we're going to, nope, that's not it. So we're going to start a slip stitch. Okay, so we need to keep track of the stitches. So that's our double treble, our 2 trebles, 1, 2, 3 double crochets, and so we're starting there. So we're starting with a slip stitch into the top of a single crochet, and then we're going to work 1, 2, 3. So those are the 3, so it's 1 slip stitch into the single crochet, 1 slip stitch into the next 3 double crochets, 1 slip stitch into the next 2 trebles, 1 slip stitch into the double treble. Then we're just going to slip stitch. Really, it's a chain. Not a slip stitch, it's a chain. It's not cha-cha-cha. I'm getting completely tongue-tied here. So we're going to do a chain 1. Then we are going to slip stitch into the next double treble, slip stitch into the next 2 trebles, slip stitch 1, 2, 3 into the next 3 double crochets, slip stitch into the single crochet, and slip stitch into the base of your loop, slip stitch into the base of your loop. So you're going to slip stitch twice there, okay? So it's kind of those, can you see how that goes? You know, you're doing that little V there, and then, you know, because this is so dark, I have to count. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, so, and then slip stitch into the single crochet, slip stitch 1, 2, 3, those are the 3 double crochets, 1, 2, the 2 trebles, the 1 double crochet, a double treble, chain 1, and into the next double treble, into the next 2 trebles, into the next 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, into the next single crochet, into the base of your, okay, you see that was the one I missed, so I'm just going to go into the base to cover that up, and then again, you know, so you're forming that sort of V, you know, the V. I'm not doing a very neat job here, am I? And then I'm counting backwards again, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then the single crochet. Okay, so that's how you're going to do it. 1. Right, so you just make sure that you are basically doing a slip stitch into all the stitches, and you know the way to do it is the way that I've done it, where you basically just telling yourself, I'm going into the single crochet, I'm going into the double crochets, I'm going into the trebles, I'm going into the double trebles, and between the double trebles you're just doing that chain 1, and then back to the next double treble, and you just carry on like that. And that way you know that you're covering all of your stitches. Okay, into the single crochet, and into the base of, okay, sorry, and right there at the bottom, and then again like that. Okay, I know it's a little bit awkward. Oh look, I've done practically the whole one there with you. Okay, so it's going to look like that. gosh, and you are going to have that V sort of worked in. Okay, so once it's blocked, you know, that becomes a little bit neater. It becomes a proper V. Believe me, it does. Like that. Okay, I've gone into there. Okay, that's not that one, like that. Okay, so you've gone right in there. Okay, so you just carry on like that. I hopefully you've done a little bit neater job than me. Actually, this dark colour is kind of doing my eyes in. I can't really see where I'm going. Alright, so slip stitch round. You're going to work slip stitches all the way around the top of those stitches from your previous round. Your single crochet, double crochets, trebles, double trebles. I'm not going to mention the UK terms now, because if the UK and Australian ladies are watching, they will have seen what I've done. Okay, and they'll know which stitches those are. Okay, and I shall see you at the end of round number 7. Okay, so what I've done with the last one is, I'll just do that with you. So that is the last one into the base, and you're going to do that second one and then just pull. I actually did snip off the yarn, so you're just going to pull that through and then kind of feed, oh sorry, going completely off camera, and then just feed it into the bottom there like that. Okay, it's not the neatest not the neatest finish. I don't know why I'm so ham-fisted today. Must be the heat. Okay, so for some reason that looks like it has more stitches, but I've counted the stitches and they are the same. Okay, so yeah, it's amazing like how your work looks when you're working on it, and then when you've blocked it. And when you've blocked it, like all the stitches just fall into place. Okay, so that's the end of round number 7. Which is rather weird and awkward round. Okay, but I'll show you what it looks like. So it's going to look like that. All very neat. You know, once you've worked the stitches into the back and so on and so forth, and worked the next set of loops, and all kind of like pulls into shape. Okay, at the moment it looks a little bit like a dog's breakfast. So that's the back, and that's your front, and I'm going to go and work in the tails, and I shall see you at the beginning of round number 8.